This is Dr. Chris's Radio Horror Program, 91.3 FM, WCW in Worcester, Massachusetts, during a recorded interview under quarantine here in the WCW studios of Radio Horror. I'm alone in the studios and everything's nice and clean, so I thank you for tuning in. If you're not checking this out while it's broadcasting, hopefully you're going to check it out on the Radio Horror YouTube channel. Tonight on the show, we have returning guest and local filmmaker, as well as head of a amazing organization that happens once a year called the Shea Film Festival, which raises money for an aspiring filmmaker. We have Skip Shea on the show with us to talk about the trailer for his new New England weird movie, little folktale, Seeds. Thank you for coming on the show with us, Skip.
Thanks for having me back, Chris. Hope you're safe.
I am safe. I hope you and your loved ones are all safe and sound as well.
So far, so good.
What a great time to also catch up on, looking at the positive things, what a great time to also catch up on a lot of reading, catch up on any work that you're working on as a filmmaker. Maybe you've had a lot of backlog of editing you have to do. Maybe there's script submissions you need to start finally reading through that you've never had time for in that 9-to-5 job. But also think about the number of horror movies and cool films and television shows that you can share with people.
Yeah, well, I'll do a cheap plug then. Trinity is available online right now. I think it's up on both my Facebook page and the Trinity page. Streaming on Vimeo. It's $2.99 for a download, and with it comes Ave Maria. And because of what's going on, there's a code on the Trinity page. It's actually Trinity CV, and if you use the code, you get it for free. So people can actually see Trinity for free now if they want to, because, I mean, even right now, $2.99 can go a long way for some people, because it's pretty tough right now.
Right, and everyone should do their best to try and support your independent artists the best you can. If you can't because you're out of work, I completely understand. Daughters of Darkness in Salem had a huge weekend-long event showcasing all of the artists and vendors that they were supposed to have at the Hawthorne Hotel this weekend that I was going to be involved with. They're still raising money for the abused family shelter as well. Also, what more interesting time to promote Trinity right now, considering what today is?
Today is Palm Sunday.
Right.
Yeah, we're a week away from actually, it's an interesting then time to promote Seeds as well.
Right.
It's a week away from Easter.
But Skip's on the show with us to talk about the Seeds trailer that just came out, a brand new trailer, a little bit longer than the last trailer, and I was really fascinated by this, and I wanted to break down the trailer with him a little bit at a time. So Skip and I are going to play the trailer and talk about what's happening in the trailer as it's going along. And if you have the trailer online on your own view, you can basically kind of listen to it as like a commentary in such a way. We're going to just play it as it's going, stop it, and talk about like an actor that pops up and kind of have a pop-up video, if you will. But who are these two actors right in the beginning?
Right in the beginning is that's Emma Cutting the Apples, Emma McKenzie, and Patrick Bracken, two local actors, although Emma is from Northern
Ireland. Gotcha. Ah, yep. And this is Aurora Grable, correct?
Where are we in this?
We are at 25, so I'll pause it right now. So it was at 24 mark. We had, I believe...
The person pointing?
Yes.
No, that's Bella Medeiros. That's my granddaughter.
Oh, that's your granddaughter. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Aurora pops up later.
Okay.
Yes, Aurora does pop up later in this.
Okay.
But yeah, so right there, there's Emma and Patrick. They play the characters Macha and Andrew, and they're grieving parents. They've lost a child, and the mom keeps hearing and seeing things, having these visions, and that part of her vision is the child in the mask. And you see the child in the mask in several different ways in the movie. One is in an apple orchard, one is in like a below the earth netherworld.
Would you mind talking to the audience a little bit about why that's important to you?
Well, yeah, this is I'll go back to I'll start with Trinity. There, Trinity was my feature-length film about clergy sexual abuse, because I'm a survivor and I wanted to tackle a certain aspect of that issue, which is mostly dissociative behavior. And part of Seeds is about a big part of Seeds is about grieving parents who are trying to find their way in life after. And I am also I lost a daughter, Shauna Shea. You mentioned it earlier. We have the Shauna Shea Foundation, and our major fundraiser is the Shauna Shea Film Festival. This is me kind of tackling a grieving parent theme.
And then next up in the trailer, we have an actress from Suspiria.
Yes, Barbara Mignolfi in her scene with Patrick, and here she explains that. Seeds. What Patrick's job is, he's a professor at UMass in cults and folklore, and he loves following these small cults around. And he is now being invited to go to one of these, to go to visit one of these cults, because he's told he had an uncle who lived there who passed away, and he has to get an inheritance. But part of the deal of his inheritance is to deliver this package of seeds. But when he delivers it, it has to go to a specific person, and he's not told who that is. He has to use his intuition to figure out who gets the seeds. Barbara is the one who delivers the seeds to him.
I always love stories that have a bit of a mystery to them involving an inheritance, and then there's like a plot thread with the inheritance and the mystery behind it. That's I don't know why that's always fascinated me, but those type of films have always grabbed my attention whenever I hear about them.
Well, I was going back, and that's like an old fashion storyline, and I really wanted to make a folk horror film that harkened back to like older movies. There's actually a scene in this movie, I don't think it's in the trailer, but I actually used the same ferry that was used in Let's Scare Jessica to Death in Connecticut. So I mean, I tried to get to the old 60s 70s type feel in this film. So I went to like old fashioned storylines as well. The ending is not old-fashioned, but the build-up is.
And then next up in the trailer, we have, if you play it at the 45-second mark, we have from The Strangers, local New England actor Kip Weeks.
Yes, Kip plays Cardinal Sinibaldi. He's talking with Rick Johnston. Now, there, as Patrick is invited to go to this cult simultaneously at the same time, the church wants to infiltrate the cult because the cult has some secrets, healing, magical, mystery type secrets that the church wants to get possession of. So they're sending a priest to infiltrate the cult. And this is him discussing it with a member of the Vatican Bank. Rick plays a member of the Vatican Bank.
And then a man walking through the woods. Is this the same man that was talking with Kip?
No, the man walking through the woods is actually, he's saying he's sending a priest. So we're seeing the priest walking through the woods. The Vatican, this is a priest. The other guy is part of the Vatican Bank. He's just a banker. He's a man in a suit and a tie. Mm-hmm. This is actually David Graziano reprising his role, believe it or not, as Father Tom from Trinity.
Oh, my.
Just in this very briefly, because he's more of the backstory. The priest being sent there is important, in particular at the end. For the most part, he's just getting there. So, yeah, in a way, Trinity and Seeds are all in the same universe.
I was going to say, are we creating our own cinematic universe?
So far, yes.
Doing a better job than Warner Brothers has.
Thank you.
Or Universal. We only seem to have one horror cinematic universe, and that's the Conjuring universe.
Yeah, that's right. And they have a nun in that, so we can't escape Catholicism, can we?
And then we got two people talking in a living room from the previous scene.
Let me get up to that.
That's about 141 mark.
Okay, so now this is Andrew explaining to his wife that he has this package of seeds and he has to go to this cult, and she's like, please don't go. He says it's harmless, just grab them. And when she grabs them, she has a vision. And
then we have the vision again of the young woman who you say this is your granddaughter.
Yep.
Okay.
Bella, who is also in Trinity, she's like in all my movies.
Now the mask, however, that was worn by your female lead in Microcinema, right? Is that the same type of mask?
That is the same mask that Aurora wore in both Microcinema and Ave Maria.
Right, and it was Microcinema how I met you through our mutual friend Tony Brown at Rock and Shock.
Right, so that's right. So yeah, a mask is something that is big in my little universe here.
Okay, so there's a doll on the floor at the bottom of the staircase at the 216 mark that she steps on.
Yes.
And then takes a hit.
Takes a big fall. Yes. Now that scene is much later in the movie. And then, now she is going to infiltrate the cult, even though she's very Catholic. She doesn't really believe this stuff, but she's worried about her husband, and because it's in such a remote place, she can't call him. They can't contact each other, so she's going there to look for him. And
after she slips and falls, we meet a woman with an axe after a man is reaching out to her wearing the same mask as before, but this is a man or a woman topless?
That is that's the priest, Father Tom, reaching out his hand with his head on a chopping block, and that's Aurora stepping forward with an axe, wearing the mask and a crown.
Yes. And then we have the whole group of people sitting in chairs. Switches really quick over to somebody holding an axe, carrying it over their head.
Yeah, Andrew goes on the road and gives lectures about these cults. So in this little gallery, he's giving one of his speeches about cults, and in particular the mystical aspects of the apple, which actually I did a lot of research on that, thanks to Colin and Laura Graham, who just filmmakers from the UK who kind of pointed me, actually Ireland and Scotland, who pointed me in this direction. Like there is a reason that they said that the Beatles, used Apple as their label, and there's a reason why I'm on an Apple computer, because people believe that there's something very powerful about the image of the apple, which all goes back to the Old Testament. And some believe that God absolutely wanted us to eat from the tree of knowledge. Like, why else would we be here? And of course, it was a woman, the feminine power, who did it. So there's a lot that he's explaining in this scene to this group of people. Now, because of her visions, she looks over and suddenly everyone's in a mask. And that's pretty much how the cult dresses, except for one guy. And that's Sean Carmichael, reprising his role as Michael from Trinity. He's in this just for a brief moment as they're showing his artwork. So I'm pulling the universes together. And after that, the shot is, yes, there's an old man up on a hill swinging an axe at something on the ground, and that's actually me.
I was going to say, I think that's you.
Yeah,
you Alfred Hitchcock, you.
Oh, no, I have a role in this. I play Sean, who is kind of the caretaker of the cult. He takes care of certain things that need to be done that aren't always pleasant. With most of the scripts that I've written that are not produced right now, there is either a mention of, or at least a scene with Cardinal Sinibaldi, the character that Kip is playing. From here forward, all of the thread, if these things ever get produced, Cardinal Sinibaldi will be the piece who ties them all together.
Now, we switch over to a living room with two women talking to each other, and one of them is in a black U-neck cut dress, pantyhose with a necklace around her neck at the 2:45 mark. Yes,
that's now this is the house that where Emma's character is looking for her husband, and she falls, and then she wakes up with this person sitting across from her, and that's actually Nicole Watson from Worcester. She was also in Trinity, and she's pretty much runs this household. It's an old Victorian, really great looking, an amazing. Her and Vincent allowed me to use their home very graciously, and it's just a perfect location. So she's explaining to her, where to go find her husband, and almost what's going on.
And we come back to the snowy woods where you have a man's head on a chopping block.
Yes, that's part of her vision again, and it's me with her husband. That's Andrew's head on a chopping block. That's what she's seeing.
Junk.
Yes, and then we just cut out. Almost just cut out, because then there's one final, a couple more shots.
The cinematography, okay, the two trees crisscrossing each other over the stream is absolutely beautiful. I can't help but not think immediately of when I was in theaters back in October, back when you could go to movie theaters, seeing the movie The Lighthouse, and it's black and white, really nice, crisp cinematography immediately made me think of your first trailer.
Yeah, thanks for that. I was thrilled when The Lighthouse came out for that reason. And then at the same time, I don't want people to think, oh, look, he's just doing The Lighthouse.
No.
Because I was but I have to say I was into production for this well before.
Nobody sparkles. Skip, nobody sparkles in your movie. I mean, you can't make that comparison.
No one sparkles in this.
Nobody's playing a billionaire playboy, Norman Osborn or Bruce Wayne. I mean, come on.
No. But it's, I've had this, I've been drawn to black and white movies forever. I've always wanted to nail a feature-length black and white film, and this was the perfect story for it.
The last shot of your trailer is a man in a chair, and he says something, but I have the volume turned off, and then it cuts right to black. Right after Seeds appears, right after the title appears.
Yes, that's Vincent, and he's saying it's Vincent. He owns like Ralph's and Vincent's and Nick's in Worcester.
Oh, I didn't realize he owned all those. Wow.
Yeah, and he's in the house, and he's a good actor. He says, "Give me the seeds." So because Andrew was charged to find the right person with the seeds in order to get his inheritance, and now everyone's going to start saying to him, give me the seeds.
And I like the
So
way the logo looks too, by the way.
oh, thanks. Yeah, that's on my budget, that's me. So, um,
But you don't have the
yeah,
full title you don't have the full title in the trailer that says Seeds, a New England folk horror movie. You just say Seeds.
yes, because seeds is the full title. That's the only way. There were so many things called seeds on Facebook
Oh God,
that
yeah.
I had to expand it to explain what it was.
Gotcha. And then, is there anyone else? Who? I'm sorry. Let me start over. Who else the cast did not we not see in the trailer that you wanted to point out?
Oh God, let me.
I believe Dynamo Mars.
Yes, he has a wonderful scene in it. Scene with me. We have a lot of fun. Let's see. We've got Dimitri Kasperson, who owns Starlight in Southbridge, which is the home base and host the Shaun Shea Film Festival. He's in it, and we also used his Starlight as a location. Anthony Ambrosino, the producer and actor, is in this. William Bolster from Southbridge. Denise Cassioni, who's also wrote one of the songs at the end. Jamie Crowley, Christy Devine, I already said Vincent, Christopher Howard, Eric Linter, Dynamo Mars, Maria Mogavera, who's wonderful in this, Pamela Ruby Russell, Lynn Turnell, and Gregory Velez. Gregory Velez and Rick Johnston were the two guys who had the art gallery in Trinity. So I love having them in my movies. I love working with them. A lot of these people are the same people. I kind of work a lot with the same people. Denise was in Trinity. Anthony was in Trinity. Anthony Ambrosino. So Greg and Rick. So I tend to. There are people I trust. Nicole was in it. Aurora was in it. So yeah, I use somewhat of the same people, but I as Sean Carmichael owned Trinity, Emma McKenzie owns Seeds. This is her movie, and she's just amazing. I'm thrilled that I had her, and she really makes this story go.
Just in case I missed it, the seeds come from apples, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Does anything to do with the fact that apple seeds contain a 1% ingredient of cyanide in them play heavily into your plot of any kind?
No.
Okay.
None whatsoever.
I just happened to saw that, and then I just listened to a podcast on my way to the radio station. They were talking about defeating. They were watching Fright Night, and in the movie Fright Night, Dandridge eats apples because he's like a fruit bat vampire, and they said that he eats the whole core, and they went into some of the discussion that you'd have to eat 23 apples worth of seeds in order for the cyanide in it to really affect you.
Oh. No, we're more like the apple that keeps the doctor away, the healing properties of it in this story.
In the mason jar in the poster, is that apple juice?
Sort of. There is other stuff in it.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Excellent, Skip. Well, thank you for coming on the show to break down your trailer for Seeds for us.
Well, thanks for having me.
In this circle, we plant the seeds. In this circle, his blood we need. I like that tagline. Right.
Yeah, well, yeah. You'll hear it a lot in the movie.
When can we expect Seeds to hit us?
Who knows? All the festivals are on hold because now it's a festival circuit run. It is in the hands of several sales agents, but who knows what that means? And if they take it, then they decide the festival run itself. So I don't know now. Just like everyone else, we're on hold.
But if you want to check out more of Skip's work, you can also rent Trinity, which he mentioned at the very beginning of this recording, and the Shaun Shea Film Festival is later this year. So, and you said that you're doing you have a mini short film festival you're going to put online. What was the story with that again?
No, we've done it for like 3 years now. We do. We call it Spring Shorts. We just show a day of shorts. So it's a separate festival. It's SSFF, so it's still Shaun Shea Film Festival, and all the money still goes to the foundation. But it's just a day of shorts, and we show it at Nick's in Worcester. But it's a schedule for next month, and I have a feeling next month will be postponed as much as this month has been. So we will move it. I will say We're not going to move our festivals online. I think when people submit to us and we tell them it's going to be screened somewhere, then it is our duty to screen it somewhere. And we are not going to change the submission dates, because now I see other film festivals are extending them to make more money. And I think that's not fair to the people who have already submitted. They're under the impression that by a certain date I'm going to say who's in the film festival. So I'm going to do the same with that, where nothing else has changed. It just, the screening date may change, but the final date to submit to SSFF Shorts is April 19th. So, and that's going to remain the same. We're trying to be as fair to it's very hard for filmmakers, is hard enough as it is, and submitting to film festivals is costly enough as it is. And then to have someone, say, well, we're going to just stream your movie. When they were hoping an audience would see it together, because that's a much better way to see a movie, or that now they've submitted theirs in a timely fashion, and now because we have everything postponed, I shouldn't extend it so other people can get in because they submitted it within our original time frame. And I'm just trying to be fair with everyone throughout this crisis, because it's hard. It's hard enough. Independent filmmakers. This took me probably 2.5 years to make Seeds, piecing this together, because we're doing it on with a shoestring budget, as was Trinity. So and then when someone has to give you $50, not us but other film festivals, $70 to submit a feature, and then they tell you, well, great, your world premiere is going to be online, that doesn't do you any good.
Right. So, South by Southwest just announced they're going to be doing the whole festival on the internet.
Yeah, I think to films that want to screen, but it's also Amazon Prime, and most of the ones that they're screening already have a deal with Amazon. They've been bought by Amazon, so okay, I can see that. That's fine, good enough. But for the others that don't have a distributor or don't even have a sales agent, that's not the way to create buzz. I'm very, very grateful that Michael Gingold wrote a piece on Rue Morgue Online about the trailer for Seeds for us, because that's the stuff us indie filmmakers are really trying, have to work hard to get something, that type of recognition. And if you were an indie filmmaker who was going to be in South by Southwest, the world was going to be there, and you had the ability to have the world come see your movie, and now you're just on TV competing with everybody else. I think that's hard. I think that's rough. Look at what's going on and figure it out. This is, I joke a lot. Like I read Camus a lot. I read, all things on existentialism, and I have most of my life. And so I'm always, joking that I'm in some sort of mini existential crisis. But right now, I really believe the whole globe is, because this is attacking the globe, and humans on that scale, and how that doesn't make you ponder the meaning of your own existence, I don't know. So if you can, do whatever you have to do to survive this, I guess is my final thought on that. And if creating is part of it, great. If it's not, great. Just do what you can to survive.
Right. Definitely a lot of avenues out there, and thankfully, everyone stay healthy and safe. Thank you, Skip, for coming on the show with me again.
Thanks for having me. Next time, maybe sooner or later, we'll see each other.
Yeah, we'll definitely see each other.
We'll be in touch.